There was a day when money quietly stopped being real. No riots, no global announcement, no dramatic collapse. People still went to work. They still checked their bank accounts. They still believed everything was normal. But behind the scenes, something fundamental had changed. Money, the thing people trusted more than governments, more than institutions, had transformed into something else entirely. And most people never noticed. What if I told you, the money in your pocket isn't really worth anything? Not because it's fake, but because it's no longer real in the way people once understood it. To understand this, we need to go back to a time when money actually meant something tangible. For most of human history, money wasn't numbers on a screen. It was something you could hold: gold, silver, coins with weight, value, scarcity. If you owned gold, you owned wealth, not a promise, not a number, something real. Even early paper money wasn't truly paper. It was a receipt, a promise that somewhere inside a vault your gold existed. You could walk into a bank, hand over that paper, and demand real metal in return. And that changed everything. Because for the first time, people didn't need to carry gold. They carried trust. Banks realized something interesting. Most people never came back to claim their gold. They were happy using paper. So banks started issuing more paper than the gold they actually had. Not double, not triple, sometimes 10 times more. This was the birth of something powerful and dangerous, a system built not on value, but on belief. And as long as people believed the money was real, it worked. Fast forward to the 20th century, the world had changed. Wars were expensive, economies were growing fast, and governments needed more money than gold could ever support. Then came a moment that would quietly reshape everything. In 1971, a decision was made, one that would disconnect money from reality itself. The President of the United States, Richard Nixon, stepped in front of cameras. He didn't say money was becoming fake. He didn't say the system was changing forever. He framed it as a temporary measure, a technical adjustment, but it wasn't. That day, the United States ended the gold standard. Dollars were no longer backed by gold. You could no longer exchange paper for something real. Money had become pure belief. And because the US dollar was the backbone of the global system, the entire world followed. From that moment on, money wasn't tied to anything physical. Not gold, not silver, not anything you could touch. It became something new, a system of numbers, digits in bank accounts, balances on screens, entries in databases. Money became information. And the scary part? It could now be created out of nothing. Before 1971, creating money required something real: mining gold, holding reserves. After 1971, all it took was a decision. Central banks could increase the money supply with a few keystrokes. No digging, no scarcity, no physical limit, just numbers, expanding endlessly. This system is called fiat money. Fiat meaning because we say so. Money has value because authorities declare it does. Here's the strange part. Nothing collapsed. Life continued. Stores didn't close. Banks didn't fail overnight. People kept trusting money. Why? Because money was never just about gold. It was always about belief. As long as people believed in the system survived, even if it had fundamentally changed. But something subtle began to happen. Money started losing its meaning. Slowly, quietly, prices began to rise. Not dramatically at first, but consistently. Over time, people noticed something strange. The same amount of money bought less. This is called inflation. But inflation isn't just rising prices. It's the silent erosion of value. As money became easier to create, it started flowing everywhere. Stocks rose. Real estate prices exploded. Economies looked stronger than ever. But was it real growth? Or just more money chasing the same things? When money is unlimited, value becomes distorted. And suddenly, everything feels more expensive, even if nothing has truly changed. Then came the next transformation. Money didn't just stop being real, it stopped being physical. Cash began disappearing, replaced by cards, apps, online transfers. Today, most money doesn't exist as paper. It exists as data. Your salary, a number in a system. Your savings, lines in a database. And if those systems fail, what happens to your money? When money was gold, you controlled it. You could hold it, hide it, protect it. But digital money, it's controlled by institutions. Banks can freeze accounts. Systems can block transactions. Governments can monitor flows. Money became not just invisible, but controllable. Here's something even deeper. When money became digital, people's relationship with it changed. Spending became easier, more abstract. You don't feel the loss of money when it's just numbers disappearing from a screen. And that subtle shift, it changed how people think about value, debt, and risk. Not everyone was comfortable with this. Some began searching for something real again. That's when new systems started emerging. Decentralized, limited, independent of governments. The most famous example? Bitcoin, a digital currency, but with a twist. It couldn't be created endlessly. It had rules, limits, scarcity. In a strange way, it was trying to bring realness back to money. This raises an uncomfortable question. If money isn't backed by anything, is it fake? Not exactly. Money today is backed by something powerful: collective belief, trust in governments, trust in systems, trust that tomorrow it will still work. But here's the truth. Money isn't real in the way it used to be. It's not a thing. It's an agreement. That day in 1971 didn't feel dramatic. There were no headlines saying money is now imaginary. But it marked the beginning of a new era. An era where value could be created, manipulated, expanded, without physical limits. And once that door opened, there was no going back. So the next time you check your bank account, look at those numbers. They represent your time, your effort, your life. But remember, they are not gold. They are not physical. They are a shared belief, held together by trust. And that raises one final question. If everyone stopped believing, what would your money really be worth? This is the silent shift that reshaped the world, not with noise, but with numbers. If you want to understand how power really works, you don't just follow the money, you question what money really is.